Okay, hello. Sorry I can't be here today. Um, I just wanted to give a rundown of some things, kind of my expectations and where to go from here. By now, everybody should have a gross annual salary. If you do not, let me know so I can get that to you. You want to break down your gross pay into monthly and hourly based off of the equations that we had before. That's used for things like prospective job uh, opportunities. From there, you also want to calculate your net salary. This is things after taxes, and that was about That was 2/3 of your gross is the calculation that we're using. Also, bring that down to how much you're making per hour, how much you're making per month. For this project, you're going to take that per month, and that's going to be your value. That's going to be your value here, and then you're going to have other forms of income, so that if you change any of those sources of income, the total will update, and then you have your your list of expenses. Now I'm allowing some flexibility here. I pulled from the list that was created in class that you still have access to. I didn't use everything because some stuff just does not apply, but I did use quite a bit of it, and I do want to see this where essentially everything in here is accounted for. Like I know how much I spend on an anniversary. You may not have that. You don't have to have it. But I know how much I spend because I'm trying to make this as accurate as possible. And so some stuff. So this car expenses, um, part of savings. And if you look around here, you'll see part of savings coming up uh, quite a bit. And so what that is a separate account that when I have money left over, um, I put that money into that account. Here's the rent and mortgage, and you can follow this and figure out um, how I got this number using the loan calculator. Um, Water. I looked up a price to figure out what that water was. There was very little. There's very little in here that I just pulled a number out of thin air. Like medications, I do know how much I spend on medications a month. So, um, but you need to be ready in this project. If you just give me a number, be ready for me to say, be ready for me to ask where you got that number from, because you can't just make up numbers out of thin air. They have to be there for something. And but then you see the address of you know everything in here that is relevant. I've taken into account. There's my expenses, and here's my balance. Now I've done something here that for this demonstration that you are not allowed to do, which is this statement here. Big issue is that I haven't accounted for the property tax in my budget, which means I'm going to be going into debt, and so then I need to do something to adjust that. Now, in the real world, one of the first things I would do is I would try and get a roommate. You're not allowed to do this here. You're going to have also. Now, this is something that you could do, which is adjust how much I spend on birthdays, anniversaries and birthdays and Christmas and those kind of things every single year. Because for me, that's a pretty big, that's a sizable chunk. Um, you know, to spend $750 around Christmas, that's not unrealistic for me. At age 25, that was probably pretty high. But then I also took that and then I spread that. This is if I put 6250 into savings every single month, then I don't have to worry about going into debt using a credit card for that one. These are the kind of strategies. So this is an incomplete system. This is not the final project. So I would have to go in here and start, um, and start kind of rethinking what it is that I would do. If you want to try and take a shortcut, you better provide incredibly good justification as to why. If you have questions, you can email me and I will do my best to respond. Otherwise, I hope this helps with. Oh, I totally forgot to before. Here we go. Like gas and groceries. These totals come from gasoline was 141. These totals come from here, and it's the same idea. This number is just the sum of these values. It just so happens that it came up a nice clean number. Same thing with groceries. That for me, because these numbers for groceries, I was pulling for a family of four, and your grocery bill, if you kind of did your research per week, per trip, would most likely be less. And so that's another area that you could cut some money. But just be ready to justify any number that you have. Now, with that said, hope all this helps. And again, if you have questions, feel free to email me. That is mandrews@harnett.k12.nc.us. That's mandrews@harnett.k12.nc.us. Okay? All right. Good luck.